The Home Office sent emails to employers who have the license to sponsor. This email details exactly what they need to do if they want to sponsor an employer under the skilled worker visa. They sent it to even people who are under the global mobility visa, global talent visa. I felt it's very important for me to share with you what is contained in this email. In fact, I've been seeing a lot of immigration lawyers online talking about it, but whenever I check the government website, that information is not there. So I felt it's so important for me to bring this to our community so that you can prepare yourself accurately and know what to do. What can you do if you want to switch to a skilled worker visa after 22nd of July 2025, or maybe before the 22nd of July 2025? How can you be protected under the old rules? If you are someone on the student visa, graduate visa, maybe you need to extend your visa, then watch this video till the end. Hello everybody, my name is Cynthia. I share information that will help your transition abroad to be as smooth as possible. I share information about settling, working or studying in the UK. If you need help getting a visa sponsorship job, perhaps you need an outstanding CV, cover letter, personal statement or supporting information, then reach out to me. The link will be in the description as well as in the comments. And without wasting time, let's get into this video. This particular letter, they talked about people who want to switch to the care worker route. The first thing you need to know is that they're going to stop overseas care workers from coming into the UK from the 22nd of July 2025. Now, if you want to come into the UK, I feel you should get your employer to assign you a COS before the 22nd of July 2025. I'm going to share with you the exact time you need to do that because they have sent further information with regards to this. If you can't meet it before that, then you cannot come into the UK. If you want to pursue the occupation codes 6135 and 6136. Remember that 6131 was not mentioned, and 6131 is nursing auxiliaries and assistant, and that is the code that is common if you want to get into the NHS. So you might consider that. But just remember that 6131 is now under the immigration salary list and it has a cap. You have to submit an application before the 31st of December 2026. Now, if you want to switch from a student visa or a graduate visa or any other type of visa to the care worker route and you are in the UK, the Home Office is saying that they're going to support in-house or in-country switching. Now, you can't do that before 22nd of July 2025. If you want to do that, if you are assigned a COS before the 22nd of July 2025, you will be protected, which means that the old rules apply. So with regards to all these things, it's all about when you were assigned a COS. That is the benchmark for everything. Now, if you are assigned a COS from the 22nd of July 2025, then you would be subjected to the new rules, which is that you need to provide evidence that you have been working with that particular employer at least 3 months before the assignment of the COS. So remember, we are using some words called assignments. Now, to understand it better, you have to understand that there are 2 types of COS. There is DCOS, which is defined COS, and there is undefined COS. DCoS is the type that they give to people who want to come in from overseas, that's outside the UK. If a DCoS is assigned from the 22nd of July 2025 and it's for the code 6135 and 6136, that will be automatically rejected because you are trying to come in from outside the UK, and care workers will no longer be allowed to come into the UK from the 22nd of July 2025. If it is a UCoS, that's undefined COS, it's a blank COS that, there are different stages like I explained to you. First of all, the employer has to apply for COS, and there's the assignment. That's when they give that COS someone's name. They pay for the immigration fee surcharge for that and other things that they need to pay for on that COS and give that COS someone's name. They've assigned it to someone. Now, assignment is the unique word right now. You're understanding assignment, then you can actually overcome any challenges you might have. It has to be assigned before the 22nd of July 2025. If as is assigned afterwards, that is when you have to meet all these requirements that either you are under the transitional requirement, that is, you're already on the skilled worker visa pathway, you are under that same code, that's 6135 or 6136, and you just want to extend your visa, then transitional provisions apply. That's the employer has to write it under the sponsorship note, trying to say that you are protected. If they do not write it, your visa will be refused. So this is something that you need to tell your employer. They've sent these emails to so many employers, but I would advise you that when they give you that COS, they print it out as a PDF. What you should do is make sure all these things are there so that you do not delay your visa application process. Look at it, and if you just want to extend your stay in the UK, make sure they write transitional provisions apply and state the reason why you are protected. That is, you want to extend, and provide the COS, the number for the previous COS. Just ask your sponsor to check the email that the Home Office sent to them and make sure they follow all the steps they've stated there. Then you are protected because you're just extending your COS. But if you're a student or on the graduate visa route or another route, maybe a dependent, and you want to switch to the care worker route, and you are in the UK, we are talking about in the UK, in-country switching, then your employer has to provide that information that says individual has been working with us for more than 3 months or 3 months. Just explain why. Do not leave it blank. That is what they are saying. Because when it comes to UCoS is a blank sheet. Is COS. Some companies might have like 10 of them, 5 of them. They have to assign and fill in some particular details there, and then put your name on that thing. Now, what they're trying to explain to you is that please do not leave the sponsorship notes blank if you are going to apply for anything less than RQF level 6, because anything less than RQF level 6, there's an option for you to tick whether it's under the immigration salary list or temporary shortage list. There are some occupations that have been withdrawn, totally withdrawn from the skilled worker visa list. And let me tell you something, some of them might not be found under the temporary shortage list or the immigration salary list. So if your COS has been assigned from the 22nd of July 2025, that visa will be refused, because the only list that will be approved are those ones that on the skilled worker visa, immigration salary list, and temporary shortage list, unless it is not for the first time. It's just transitional requirement applies, which means that you're just extending your visa for a particular occupation. Remember that if you are on a particular occupation, let's just say that you are a business analyst and you want to switch to another route under the skilled worker visa as a care worker, and you have kids, let's just say you have kids, dependents with you. If you want to switch and your COS has been assigned from the 22nd of July onwards, let's just say it's been assigned in August, you would not be allowed to bring dependents, because anything RQF level 3 to 5 will not be allowed to bring dependents. Even though your dependents are with you in the UK, you cannot switch from one occupation code to another. Maybe you're switching from, I don't know, maybe shopkeeper assistant or something like that to a care worker role or something, and that particular aspect you're switching to does not allow dependents from the 22nd of July 2025. They will not approve that visa. And remember that you would need to provide evidence that you meet the requirement to switch to the care worker route from the 22nd of July 2025. So you might need to provide your bank statement and also your pay slips and employment letter, things to show that, hey, I've been working for this employer for the past 3 months and I meet the requirement to switch into this role. Please do so. If you don't do so, your application might be refused. Another major thing that they explained is that there is no transitional arrangement for meeting the salary requirements. It means that there is this increase in most salaries and you need to meet it. Please just visit that statement of changes in immigration rules. I don't like to share, oh, it has moved from 38,700 to 41,000. I know it's increased, but we know that it has not increased for every profession. There are some professions that are just below that. So the only way you can find out is if you check the skilled worker visa list. That's table 1 under the statement of changes in immigration rules. You check it and make sure you meet it if you are applying for the first time in that particular occupation. So you check it. But if you're extending your stay, then you check the 1A. 2 is for global mobility visa. Many people make these mistakes. They always say, oh, I am applying to extend my stay as a data analyst and I can see that is below the amount you stated online. Let me tell you something. Please always read the title of that table. There might be data analyst salary requirements for skilled worker visa that is quite different from that of global mobility visa or scale up visa. Please always check that statement of changes in immigration rules. I'll put it in the comment because many people don't know how to check these things. It's very easy. Search for your occupation code or your occupation. Just search for it. Go through table 1 and be sure that your occupation is under table 1 if you're applying for the first time. If it's not there, check under the temporary shortage list or the immigration salary list. These are the ones that you need to apply for if you want to stay in the UK or you want to come in from outside the UK. Just check it and check the deadline or the timeline they've put there for each occupation. You will see the exact amount that you need to be paid. For care workers, that's a health and care visa, the minimum salary threshold has not gone up. It's still £25,000. So that is what you need to meet. You have to also know the disadvantages of this. You might be affected by the 10-year pathway that they are talking about, the 10 years to ILR they are talking about. They want to call it end settlement. You might be affected if you choose any of the occupations under the temporary shortage list or immigration salary list. And I'm sharing this because if you are someone who wants to come into the UK as a student, you have to be very strategic about any occupation you want to pursue or any course you want to pursue in any UK university. Do not choose courses that will not benefit you. Choose courses that will help you switch into the skilled worker visa and check whether those courses are in high demand before you pay such a large amount of school fees. In summary, what they are trying to tell us is that the sponsorship management system will not be available from 6 p.m. on the 21st of July 2025. So it means that once they shut down from that 6 p.m. and they will reopen, like they make it more available to sponsors from 9 a.m. 22nd of July 2025. From that 9 a.m. July 2025, then the new rules will apply. So any D course for care workers that has not been assigned, assignment is the key word, guys. Go and talk to your employer about what assignment means. It means your name is on it, it has been approved, and it has been issued to you. So any D course that has not been assigned from that 22nd of July 2025 for care workers will not be approved. Any U course that has not been assigned from the 22nd of July 2025 has to have that transitional provisions apply for anybody who wants to extend their stay in the UK because they are just extending their care worker visa naturally. Or they have to also state clearly on that U course that, hey, this individual has worked with us for 3 months and is switching from on one visa pathway to a visa pathway and they meet the requirements. They have to write exactly how it's stated on that email that the government provided. That is what they're saying. If it does not contain any of these details, if you don't have a sponsorship note that states clearly all these details, your visa application might be refused. They're also saying that you must meet the salary requirements. So if it's been approved and not assigned, what you need to do is tell the sponsors to write something to say they are increasing the salary requirement to meet that of the government under the sponsorship note. This will help your visa process to move forward, because if your visa is refused and it needs to be appealed and so many things in between, it becomes a problem. It becoming a problem because the employer has spent a lot of money paying for your immigration surcharge and other things that they pay for when they assign that COS to you, and you don't want any immigration problem. So that's why it's always important for you to tell the employer to print out the COS. Maybe they are not aware of some of these things. It's your job as an employee to go through it, make sure it meets some of the requirements that they have stated. Unfortunately, this document is not available on the government website, so that's the problem. It's mostly people who have the license to sponsor that were sent this email, So please talk to your employer, make sure they meet all the requirements so that you don't have any problems whatsoever. Note that it's not the end of the world. If you are someone who is a data analyst, you want to extend, the old rules apply. It's just that you need to meet the new salary requirements. That's the only thing. But if you apply for the first time and you are applying for that data analyst role, then you know that you're under the temporary shortage list. Your employer has to tick that you're under the temporary shortage list. 2, they have to meet the salary requirements. You cannot bring dependents under the temporary shortage list because it's RQF level 3 to 6. So these are some of the things you need to know and be aware of so that you don't have any challenges. I know it's very difficult that the UK keeps changing their policies and all that, but you need to stay abreast with what is happening. I hope you benefited a lot from this video. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.